Okay, it's 5:30. We'll call to order the meeting of the Norwalk WPCA, Monday, April 17th, 2023. It's 5:30 p.m. and we have a quorum. The meeting is in session. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes of the WPCA held on March 20th, 2023?
So moved.
Mr. Igneri, any comments, questions, or corrections? No, everybody had a chance to look at them. I did not see any typos or any corrections. Everybody feel good? All in favor, please raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Ostafine, Manella, Igneri, and Bovee. Burnett and Constantine, I do not see. Are you abstaining?
I was not in attendance, so I will abstain. Greg
Burnett
Burnett.
abstains and Constantine is not voting. Right. Okay, so that passes. Split decision. Item number 3, is there a motion to approve the change of staff for Veolia?
So moved.
Mr. Igneri, any comments or commentary from staff?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if you guys have the chance to look at my memo, I just want to present that Veolia had approached us and submitted a transition plan for their management here. John Marcin, that is the project manager for the site, they would like to promote him to a new role as on business development. And they are proposing Matthew Brown to take his position and have a new hire for the assistant project manager. I have detailed also a transition plan that they are planning to establish for the next few months, so the transition can be smooth. I just want to really support the request and ask the board to approve it. We really think it's a very good opportunity for Mr. Marcin to move on his career. Also, I want to mention that with our contract with Veolia, originally they had 3 years where they couldn't change the management on site. That time expired, but also when there were the change with the acquisition of Veolia to the former company, we had a clause that also if we would need to have approved or we had a chance to not approve further change in the management. The reason why we put that clause there was that we were concerned by then if a new company would take over and then would totally change who will be the management here on site. That actually didn't happen. We still have the same players around, so we are confident that we don't need to extend the period for the upper management to stay in place. So that's why we truly believe that there will be no impact for us. And also we are confident that Mr. Brown can also do a very good job. Also, I want to present that the way that they did the transition plan is that this is not going to change immediately because they really need to first fulfill the assistant project manager position. And also after that is fulfilled, Mr. Marcin is still going to be engaged with the city and with the wastewater treatment plant for a while, helping with the transition plan. So I don't know if you guys have any further questions. We also have on the call Jason O'Brien, that is the regional manager. If you guys want to ask something directly to him, or hopefully we can answer some of the questions if they exist.
Thank you. Yeah, and your memo was very well endorsing the move. Anything else from staff? I see Mr. O'Brien is with us. Would you like to say a few words, Mr. O'Brien?
Oh, sure. Thanks. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Like I put in the in the letter that I had sent, the plan all along was for Matt Brown to eventually become our project manager. Nothing has changed with the merger, and I think over the past year with the merger with Veolia, the WPCA staff, and you can see that there hasn't been any significant changes we're still in support of this project and for regulatory and contract compliance, and we will continue that, with the WPCA's approval of this change.
Thank you. Any questions of the board of the members of Veolia?
I would just like to thank Mr. Morrison for the last 3-4 years and welcome Matt officially.
Thank you very much.
Well
Thank you.
said, and good luck, Mr. Marson.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
point.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I may just say a couple of quick words. I've had the opportunity to be here probably about the last 5 years when we began the process, and came on during the height of COVID, and really the last 3 years have been very, very rewarding and very, very enjoyable for me. I can't think of a better community to have transplanted myself to for 3 years, to be away from home. People here have been so warm and friendly, but at the same time, we've really worked very hard. The city staff is tireless and is, always looking to improve, which is fantastic. And with the support of the board, I can tell you in my 30 years experience, you've got one of the best teams here in Norwalk that I've seen in the water pollution control business, at least in my 30 years experience. So great work to all you. You made it easy, and we're going to continue to work hard. And as Jason mentioned, I'm staying with the company. I've got a great opportunity to go try to create more business now, but I'm always available, and I can always come back and help if ever needed. So thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Matt. I just wanted to say a couple words myself. I just wanted to thank everyone, and I'm looking forward to this opportunity. And I've been in the business a long 13 years myself. I've worked with 4 or 5 different WPCAs, both I'm on a WPCA myself in Brookfield. And John's right. This WPCA, you make coming to work enjoyable, very easy to work for. Everything that you guys do helps us do our jobs really well, and we really do appreciate that. So thank you.
Welcome aboard. Anybody else have any other questions of staff or Veolia? No. Veolia have any questions of staff? I mean, of the board? No. We'll be seeing you every month. Okay, it's 5:38.
No, you have to approve.
You have to call the motion.
Right. Right. Absolutely. It's 5:38. I think we're ready to call the question. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Ostafine, Manella, Burnett, Igneri, Bovee. That passes unanimously. Thank you. And now we are on to item number 4, contract operations reports.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. It was a fairly quiet month this month. We did have some good success on our operational tasks, though. We were able to work with our technical services group and implement a chlorination program to our microbiology, which has helped us eradicate a filamentous bacteria that was in our biomass. And this filamentous bacteria was, although not harmful, was kind of impacting sludge settling, and it wasn't allowing the final clarifiers to settle optimally. So working with our group, we were able to do about a 2-week dose of chlorine to the microbiology, eradicating those bacteria and really dramatically improving our settling. So I know it kind of sounds like detailed stuff, but it's very exciting to us as operators. This was a big development for us, and we're excited to have brought it forward. Aside from that, we had a busy month. We did about 0.34 miles of TV inspection and cleaned just about 2 miles of sewer line. But SL rat work was heavy this month. We did 6 miles of SL rat and inspected over 228 manholes. Unfortunately, we did have a daily exceedance on the 14th when we had a rain event. But it was just a daily exceedance, and the chlorination improvements that I spoke about earlier are going to eliminate any possibilities of that happening going forward. Aside from that, that's about it for details. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I can talk about, Ralph, would you like me to go through these capital projects, or do you want to speak to these?
Yeah, John, if you want to start with the smoke testing and then just
Sure,
the out of scope items.
sure. Let me scroll back up. So as part of the Webster Lot area investigation, we're going to complete the final step of our investigation and mapping of that system is to conduct some smoke testing, where we will inject smoke into the gravity sewer line, and we'll be able to identify where all the connections are in the system. It'll give us the final piece of the puzzle to map out that system and let the city move forward with that plan. So we have a subcontractor prepared and all set to do that for us. And there's a bunch of significant notifications that'll go out to the residents and businesses that are impacted by this. I don't know if we've got a final date yet, Ralph.
We did, we just got confirmation.
Okay.
It's the week of May 1st, weather permitting.
This is Matt Brown. Yeah, the plan is to do May 2nd, weather permitting, but we always say week of. So one day that week, as Ralph said, weather permitting. The joke in the business is that when you plan one day to do it, it always brings the rain. So that's why we say the week of, because we got to choose the best day.
Excellent, excellent. So so that is a non-hazardous smoke that we inject. It's can be a dramatic process. There's a lot of smoke that comes out of pipes and manholes and catch basins, but it's very quick and it ends and it gives us terrific data because as we say, you can't hide from the smoke. So so that'll be going on the first week of May. Some of the other items talk about are we had a wall removed to continue the repair of the sludge blend tanks. There was a concrete block wall that needed to be removed to insert some of the steel sections. So that's on your list for approval. We had some sanitary and sewer, and storm connections on Seaview Avenue that are also included in the list. A new scum pump for our scum removal system, which is the new flight scum pumps. And then lastly is the repairs to the 60-inch interceptor, which has a obstruction that went through it that we're going to have taken care of with Green Mountain.
Any questions? No. Okay, 5 reports. It's 5:43, 5 reports.
So under reports, first item, we have the fiscal year 22-23 revenues expenditures munis report. A copy of that has been included. Are there any questions on that? If not, I'll move on to the WPC engineering projects. We have the facility plan update. We had a meeting last week with Arcadis, who is the consultant working on the project. We received some of the draft content from the report and began reviewing it. During the meeting last week, we had a status update on the remaining content and reviewed some comments on the content that we've reviewed to this point. Then we have the San Isabel Island lining project. We had a site visit last week to investigate the commercial and multi-unit properties to get a better idea of how we would access the laterals for those properties when we do the lining work. And with that information, the consultant will be able to move forward and finalize the bid documents. And we're expecting to receive those next month, sometime probably by the end of May. We have the WPCA construction projects for the Wall Street, Knight Street relocation and improvements project. The contractor had a staffing change and is in the process of regrouping and coming up with a plan to abandon that old sanitary sewer line. So we're waiting for more information on that. On the Dreamy Hollow project, which is the sanitary sewer drainage and water main improvements project in the Dreamy Hollow Bettsburg area. There has been some installation of RCV box covers in the last few weeks. And they're now working on sanitary sewer improvements on Daphne Drive. We have the 5-mile pump stations, the pump station project, which includes 5-mile Trolley White Karen Drive and Woodward Avenue. On Woodward Avenue, they've completed the wet well coating. And also the pump station is no longer on bypass. The bypass has been demobilized. The consultant Wright Pierce will also be taking a core sample of that concrete area above the wet well that is shipping. So we'll be able to get some more information on that. And we have the sewer use bill appeals and adjustments update. For the appeal status, the total is $39,693, and that remains the same. And we've included copies of the draft nitrogen credits report. Norwalk is 5th in the state for nitrogen removal credits. And we have a Wilton sewer invoice for fiscal year 21-22. I believe you have something.
Yeah, for the Wilton invoice, that's just it's based now on audited actual expenses. So it's an additional just over $106,000 that we're billing to Wilton. And then the fiscal year 22-23 invoice should be going out soon from finance to Wilton. And then just going back to the draft nitrogen credits, Norwalk, like Nadia mentioned, we're 5th in the entire state to receive credits. And it's just over $31,000 that Norwalk's set to receive.
Does anybody have any questions on the report section? Does anybody have any questions on anything else on the agenda or not on the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, when is the WPC, when is the facility plan update? That's in June, that has to get submitted to the state? Thank you.
Chris is, yeah, that was a question, right, Chris? You're wondering when the facility plan is going to be available?
Yes,
In
was
June?
June 30, I'm sorry if you didn't hear me. Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I heard Vanessa. Yeah, June 30th. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Any other questions? Comments? On the agenda, not on the agenda? Okay, thanks everybody for showing up. It is 5:48. Is there a motion to adjourn? Burnett. All in favor? Aye. Mustafine, Manella, Burnett, Bovee. We are adjourned at 5:48 PM. Thank you. See you
Have
in
a
a
good
month.
night.
Have a good night.
Thank
you.
Tonight. It's
Yeah,
now
everybody.
6 o'clock.
Night, everyone.